Hey there, welcome to the Chronicle pregame show. I'm Ryan Herger alongside Brian Pollock. Here you get set up for Duke against Yale. The Blue Devils return home to Cameron Indoor Stadium on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. after a long week on the road, Brian. We learned a lot about this Duke team over the past week. They suffered their first loss of the season Tuesday against Kentucky in the Champions Classic, where the Wildcats controlled that game pretty much from start to finish, save for the Marshall Plumlee theatrics of double-double for the graduate student. But Duke really bounced back in a big way at Madison Square Garden this weekend, winning the 2K Classic with wins against Virginia Commonwealth and Georgetown. And really, Grayson Allen again was the driving factor for this Duke team, literally and figuratively, attacking the basket relentlessly. He was the star of the Duke team this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. He set a career high again on Sunday. Seems like he does that every other game this year. 32 points against Georgetown against just 12 shots, a remarkably efficient performance. 9 of 9 from the free throw line, 4 of 4 from beyond the arc. So Allen really showcasing his ability to score from all over the floor. Head coach Mike Krzyzewski was very impressed with Allen's ability to bounce back after a tough performance Tuesday against Kentucky, just 6 points on 2 of 11 shooting in that game, but then coming back to lead the Blue Devils to a pair of tough wins against two good teams of Virginia Commonwealth and Georgetown. So Allen's really settled in as kind of the offensive centerpiece here for the Blue Devils. Coach K still mixing up a little bit with the starting lineup, Brandon Ingram going out, Derek Thornton coming back in over the weekend to get his first career start. So still a bit in the mix for the Blue Devils.
Yeah, definitely. Like maybe it was overshadowed a bit by Allen's performance, but Derek Thornton came in and played very, very well this weekend. Mm-hmm. Got his first start in Allen's stead Friday against the Rams, and remained in the starting lineup on Sunday. And Brandon Ingram went to the bench, like you mentioned, Brian. Thornton poured in 14 points against the Hoyas. Made some good decisions. Handled VCU's pressure reasonably well. First start against the Havoc defense. So Thornton is starting to grow up and take command of that point guard position, which is really what Duke needs him to do, so that Allen can play a little bit off the ball, so he's a little bit more accustomed to, a little bit more effective. Mm-hmm. We also saw some contributions from Chase Jeter on Sunday against the Hoyas. Marshall Plumlee and Emile Jefferson, Duke's starting front court, both started in foul trouble. So Jeter came in off the bench after not playing Friday against the Rams. Had a couple quick points, a couple rebounds, really changed the tone of that game and maybe earned himself a little bit more playing time, a longer leash moving forward. So that's another sign of the Duke freshman starting to grow up a little bit. Luke Kennard played better on Sunday than he did on Friday. Still not hitting his shot the way that he's accustomed to, the way he did in high school. And Brandon Ingram's off to another bit of a slow start as well. So Duke is looking to get those two guys going as well as we head towards the end of non-conference play coming up. Brian, when you look at this Yale team, they're a team that contended for the Ivy League title last year, took Harvard to a one-game playoff where the Crimson ultimately won out at the Palestra. But this is a team that's got some experience, got some scores, and they're by no stretch a walkover on Wednesday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And usually Yale's an institution known more for its academics than its athletics, but this basketball program is really trending in the right direction. 22 wins a year ago, as you mentioned, tied for the regular season Ivy League title, which is quite an accomplishment. And they're off to a 3-1 start this year. Lost their first game just this past Sunday to Southern Methodist, 71-69, very tight battle. And the Bulldogs are actually ahead for about 25 minutes in that game before letting SMU come back and pull away with that one late. Unlike the Blue Devils, who are a very young, kind of unproven team trying to integrate a lot of new pieces, Yale has its lineup mostly set, a lot of upperclassmen leadership there. Justin Spears, the senior forward, returns for them as the reigning Ivy League Player of the Year, two-time first team All Ivy League selection. So he's really going to lead the way for them. He leads the team in points and assists as well. Chips in about 6 rebounds on the end from the forward position. So look for him to try and exploit some of the Blue Devils on the wing. He can move them around a little bit and generate some matchups. But a new look for the Yale team is going to be somebody they didn't have last year, but not a freshman.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon Sherrod's back on the squad, and Yale fans can be singing his praises this winter. Sherrod took a leave of absence from Yale basketball to travel with the Whiffenpoofs, one of Yale's most prestigious all-male a cappella groups this past year. So he wasn't a member of the Bulldogs in 2014-15, but he's back this year. He's forward 8.7 points per game, 7.3 rebounds per game in the year before last season. So he's another weapon for the Bulldogs down low and should be effective against the Blue Devils come Wednesday night. So Duke and Yale, 7 p.m. on Wednesday night at Cameron Indoor Stadium. For Brian Pollock, I'm Ryan Herger. We'll see you guys later.